quite a while ago, I did a review on the Seiko 4S15 SUS, and the link for that one is above. Now, if you've seen that video, you know that this watch has a really interesting history, both for how it was marketed towards the Japanese public, how it proved to sort of be a gateway drug for Westerners as far as importing it, and for my own interest in IWC Mark 11 Navigator type watches. Let's start with the case. Now these watches, for some reason, came pre-distressed as far as the case, especially the bezel. And you can see a number of them here. Now, it's sort of a weird thing, but occasionally on Yahoo auctions, you'll see someone selling this watch, except the bezel has been polished and it looks absolutely awful. The distressing really works for it, and it has an added bonus of it being less stressful to wear it because you're not so worried about scratching it. It seems like a minor point, and obviously it doesn't make sense for all watches to be released that way, but it's this unique characteristic of that watch that really does act like a kind of a bonus. You just don't worry about it because the distressing and scratching and marks, they sort of just go with it aesthetically. If you ever find a polished one, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, when you look at the dial, the first thing you realize is it's really, really busy. You have large numeral hour markers, you have large minute markers, and then you have the even busier chapter ring. And initially when you wear it, it all sort of is really distracting and loud. It's not normal to have a watch dial with this much going on there. But after a day or so, I find that everything just sort of blends and it becomes very uniform and easy to read. So much so that it's sort of jarring to go back to a traditionally more empty dialed watch. I don't know how that works, but it really does. And I've never really experienced a watch with a dial that was so busy that works so well. And here's a close-up of the busyness of the dial that I was talking about. Here you see the intersection of all the minute and hour markers and that chapter ring I was talking about. And again, initially it seems really overwhelming, but it gets really easy to wear after a day or so. You have such a strong contrast between all of the white elements on the dial, and just somehow your brain gets adjusted to it, and it really becomes easy to read and really nice aesthetically. And here's another angle where we can see the luminous paint on the hands. Now, initially you might think it's just a slightly off-white color, but if you look at it carefully, it's almost a dark pink color. Now, I don't know what luminous paint was used on it, and I don't know if this is really a sign of aging paint, but it's distinct enough to really stand out on the hands. It's not an overall white like everything else. And the other thing that's important to mention is the lume is very strong at night or when you shine a little bit of light on it. So it's definitely a modern watch in that respect. And here is one of my most favorite things of the dial, the red S. It's just loud enough of a red to stand out from all of the white paint. And it really adds a very unique character to the dial, and it really helps give it a sense of balance. It's sort of a weird minor point, but when you're looking at the dial on a regular basis, you really do start noticing the red S, and it's almost disappointing when the hour hand or minute hand blocks it. And here's a close-up of what it looks like when the second hand goes through all of the markers. And here's an example of what the dial looks like when the red S is blocked. I really think it takes the balance away in a surprisingly significant way, and it really makes you want the hour hand to open it up. It's a small little detail, but you'd be surprised at how it changes things around. Well, anyway, that's about it for this video, and as usual, thanks for watching.